Hello everyone, Dominic here from the British Esports Association. Welcome to today's stream, joined by a very special guest today. This is a bit of a different interview. I'm actually really looking forward to this one. We're joined by the world's oldest esports champion, Abbe Borg, aka DieHardBirdie, who plays CounterStrike. So I'm sure I'm going to learn a lot from him, and I'm really looking forward to talking about esports and how it bridges generations, and talking about how it's a great way of families to play with their children and so on. And I want to learn a bit about DieHardBirdie as well, and his background in esports and how he came to be part of this Silver Snipers team and everything. So I'm just going to hop over and bring Abbe in, and his son David, who's also going to be giving some support on the stream as well, and talking about the cross-generational gameplay and so on. So I'm just going to bring them in now. Hello guys, how are you doing?
Thank you, and we are happy to be together with you.
Brilliant. And how are you doing, David?
Good. No, thanks for having me on here. I'm here to support my dad. He's actually been teaching me CounterStrike the last few months. I started playing, and couldn't be happier getting hit by him. But he's a good teacher.
Fantastic, fantastic. And so, I guess firstly, then, Abbe, tell us a bit about yourself and what you do. And how you got into gaming and to where you are today as the world's oldest esports champion.
In the beginning, I like to say why my nickname is DieHardBirdie.
Okay.
Birdie because of this.
Yeah.
All right.
As a kid, Dad would always use that to find me.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell
Okay. So you can make that noise. It sounds like a bird chirping.
Yeah, he would use paper or a towel or leaves or anything. And when I would get lost in IKEA, we're from Sweden, he would whistle for me to find him.
Yeah.
It was really endearing.
Yeah, it was.
So that's why he got the nickname DieHardBirdie.
A way to even find him.
Okay. So when did you first get into video games then, Abbe? How did you?
About 4 years ago.
Right.
Lenovo recruited me to join the team, Silver Snipers. And I was with in the team together 4 years.
Yeah. But
it was very fun.
Absolutely. There's nothing quite like being in an esports team. So what did they approach you, or did you get into CounterStrike? What brought you to CounterStrike?
It was the first time to play esport.
Yeah.
I didn't know about this play. I remember 70 years ago I was playing CounterStrike, like punk, I see you, you're dead. And this I'm playing CounterStrike. It is another and second childhood for me.
I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So when you was a child, you'd be playing shooting games on the playground and outside and things like that. So for you, CounterStrike is an extension of that, a virtual version in a way.
Yes, you're right.
And Lenovo recruited him 4 years ago to play CounterStrike on their star team.
Right.
So that's how he got involved with it for the great gamers, people over 60.
But how did that come about, can I ask? Did you have a connection with Lenovo already? Did they know you were gaming, or did they come to you and say, hey, we want you to try this game?
They came to Dad and asked him to play CounterStrike.
Right, okay.
That's what they did.
Okay, I'm just curious why they came to you. What they saw in you.
Well, Dad was one of the leading faces in Sweden.
I was like statist model.
No, I call him a Swedish supermodel. He did commercials in Sweden as a
Right.
Swedish citizen. So they picked him because of his good looks.
Good
Right.
luck.
The Swedish supermodel looks.
All right.
Wow.
Old body with a young spirit.
Right. Okay. And so from that, then you found a new hobby in video games.
Yes, I like it.
How often do you play that?
I love it. I play 3 hours per day.
7 days a week, right?
Wow.
Between 5-7 days a week.
Right. Okay. I was going to say, I know when we were setting up and testing sound levels and everything, I said, I wish I had more time to play games because I had twins that arrived late last year, so I don't get 3 hours a day to play games anymore, and I miss that. But we were talking about this cross-generational play. My 3-year-old, I've started playing Rocket League with him, and we've got some bonding time there. And I know when you've reached out to us, you were keen to talk about this, how video games and esports can cross age barriers.
Just to bridge the gap between generations.
Yeah, Dad really enjoyed that, especially from the competitions he's been telling me about. When he goes to Paris or to Moscow or to Finland or, to compete, to be able to meet teenagers and youth that he would otherwise engage with. So he's been telling me for years now that he's bridging the gap. And I finally got convinced to come and play with Dad because he started showing me how to play because I didn't know how to play. I'm still practicing, but I think the call of the call to all audiences watching is get your parents and grandparents to watch this. Get them inspired to start gaming with you and to realize it's beyond just a computer game. It's community, it's social, it's interacting with grandparents and doing something no matter what the distance is. I'm doing it with my twin daughter. We have 3 generations here playing together, and we'll have our twin on next time when the timing is better.
I think this is so refreshing to talk about because it may be different in other parts of the world, but in the UK there is a bit of a disconnect, I think, with age. I think once you get past the 50 plus age range, I'm generalising, but I think it's fair to say a lot of people in that age range, can't see the benefits of esports or the appeal of it like a teenager or a 20-something-year-old can. So I hope this interview, I'm going to share this on my Facebook where I have a lot of older uncles and aunts on there, and hopefully it will inspire them to pick up a controller or a keyboard or mouse to get playing,
Well, Dad used to play Monopoly and cards with me. So this is the same thing. It's just an extension of it. That's why our family embracing it. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I have to say, like in esports, I'm 34 years old, coming on 35, and I'm described as old in esports because the typical, pro esports player tends to be in their late teens or early 20s, and then once they get to their mid 20s, they tend to retire and do other things, hosting or shoutcasting or whatever else. So I'm considered old, but then you've got the title as world's oldest esports champion. What's it like to have that title? Do you ever get any ageist comments or anything like that, or do you see it as a purely positive title to have?
I was happy. I was surprised. I was happy, and this was a good time for me. And now I feel more. Hur säger man? Man vill ha lite extra tid att satsa på det.
No, he wishes he had more time to play longer hours per day. He's excited about it, and he just wishes he did it earlier.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I like to play more.
Yeah.
And more.
Well, and I'm, in my late 40s, so I'm the second generation in the family. We just started playing because he's shown me.
And I was facing. I feel better after this play because my coordination is just now better, and between computer, brain, and tools, eyes and hands, and reflexes better too. And I feel better. This is very good for your health. And
I'll tell you what, he's staying with us here in the U.S.
Yeah.
to see the grandkids. He couldn't do that before when he was competing with the team. Now he has freedom to hang out with me, the grandkids, and we can tell that his cognitive skills are improved. I can also see he's taking less medication, and he has, and it brings him quicker to join the family, interact with the kids, and his English skills has improved as well. And he's just exercising brain 3 hours a day, sometimes more. And like every time he's gone, I know he's in his room gaming, like kids used to do.
Yeah.
Kid in the bathroom. I'm like, where's that? He's gaming upstairs.
Do you know, I love how it's the roles have been reversed in a way, because when I was growing up in my household, I would, show the latest games to my parents and get them into it, whereas it's the other way round for you guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's great what you were talking about, the positives of esports, because at the British Esports Association, we run colleges and we run tournaments for schools and colleges, and we talk about the benefits of esports, increasing reaction times, communication skills, teamwork, that kind of thing. So to hear it from someone who is outside of that demographic is quite valuable. And I think I'm going to have to clip that and send it round to our followers, because I think it's a really important message. Thank you for following in the chat there, Princess Juja. I'd like to go back, Abbe, and if you can, tell us about this Senior World Championship title that you have. You won the final last year with the over 60s team, the Silver Snipers. Right, you were representing Sweden versus Finland. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. This was 2019. Last year.
And what was that like? You were playing at DreamHack, right, on stage?
Yes, we was playing in DreamHack on stage. Yes,
Yeah.
It was Finland, Germany, and Americans team too.
Right. Okay. So and you guys won.
Yeah, it was a very, very good time for us.
And that was also, the oldest member of the team.
I was 78.
So he's enjoying that title, the oldest E champion globally.
Absolutely. So what were your standout memories from that? What was it like playing in a team? Because you've actually left the Silver Snipers now, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. I left December last year.
Okay.
How's it playing with the team?
It's a very good team. It's like a fist. 5 in the team, and together with a good connection and communication, it's a very good team.
That's a great comparison.
Dad, how many hours were you guys practicing when you started in 2017?
That's about 2 hours, 4 hours a month. Between 4-6 hours a month.
Together as a team.
Together like a team.
Oh, okay. So you slept.
Not so many hours.
That's brilliant. So how come you left the team? Can I ask that? Because you're doing your own thing right now.
This was we had some situation. It's a question about ageist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ageism was an issue.
Ageism. That's it.
Right. Okay. No problem. We've got a question. We've got a comment in the chat here from Sir Squark, who's one of our volunteers at the British Esports Association, who's done some casting for us, and he's admined our championships for schools and colleges. And he said, learning about the Silver Snipers really helped me come to terms with getting older and helped me make the push towards casting. I always thought I was too late to start, but you proved there isn't an age limit in esports.
It's just it's very good, because you need just try to play. Don't be afraid to to be killed or killed, because in the beginning you will be killed many times before you win.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and to extend that, the call to action is for everybody watching: show your grandparents. You know, I'm turning 50 soon, and I'm learning how to game now because I'm enjoying it doing with my family members.
Yeah. Just find some guts and try to play. Don't be afraid.
I think I'm definitely going to try and play more with my parents, because the thing with my dad is he gives up quite easily, and what you just said there, Abbe, is a good point, because you said you're going to get killed, you're going to lose early on, but you've got to keep trying, and that's one of gaming's old mantras, or one that I follow anyway, is never give up. You know, keep going and you will improve by practicing. But my dad gives up a lot now, and my mum, if I'm being honest, I think she's pretty much a lost cause, because she just doesn't like playing games whatsoever. So I'm going to have a challenge with her getting to play, but I think it would be nice to try, you know.
Right. Good luck.
Yeah.
Go on.
And Dominic, I think you touched on something. You know, if I'm playing with, you know, somebody who's 20 years old and they're one of the best players in the world, I might not like it because I get shot all the time. I get attacked all the time and I don't succeed. Yeah. So there might have to be a platform for Dad and people in his age group to be able to play casually and not necessarily have to be on the team where everybody is playing 15 hours a day. So I think, you know, one of the reasons I'm here is, you know, we want to work with other gamers that are over 60 to join the Great Gamers with Dad, and it becomes more of a influencer, brand recognized lifestyle gaming, as opposed to we're going to compete with others that are, you know, younger than us. Absolutely not. I think it needs to be something that brings the family together. It doesn't take over your life, which this sport could potentially do. What do you think, Dominic?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think it sounds brilliant. And I'd like to ask about that, actually, the Great Gamers Initiative. Well, tell us about that, because I'm told you have your own Great Gamer London franchise team called DieHard Snipers. Is that right? Can you tell us more about that?
We're open to launch a franchise on the DieHard Snipers, and I'm the investor into Dad's team, DieHard Snipers. So eventually, if we find the right team members, ideally from the Navy or from the Air Force, then we'd love to put together a team with 5 people. Maybe you can help us with that, right, Dad?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, 100%. Please, let's chat, you know, and talk, because, you know, at the British Esports Association, we're all about promoting esports as an inclusive activity for everyone, you know, and a fun activity for people to do. So that sounds really interesting. So is this going to be your own professional league? Are you sort of in the planning stages at the moment? You're very much in those early stages of this.
Yes. Yeah. We're in the early stage of creating a team around it, and we're talking to international tournament organizers. They want this category as an option, but they need somebody like my father, being the current world champion, to take that further. So I think, you know, you and I are both going to get to Dad's age, and there's going to be an industry in that space where world champions are turning 60 in the near future. So it's happening slowly, and I guess we're a little ahead of the curve.
Yeah, well, please do keep me posted on that. It sounds very interesting. We had someone in the chat at British Esports, I think either Morgan or Elliot, one of my colleagues, said, Dom's dad versus DieHardBirdie 1v1 show match, anyone? I mean, I'm not sure my dad's going to be able to play against you, but, you know, it'd be fun to do something like that, right?
Yeah, right.
No, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. If anyone has any questions in the chat, please do ask them, and I can ask them towards the end of the stream. Got through quite a few of my questions already, so we're whizzing through those. One thing I wanted to ask was, Abbe, you appeared on the Discover show back in March. I'm guessing that's in the US. And you encourage senior citizens to play video games and connect with younger generations. What was that like? Was that a one-off TV show?
he's referring to when you were interviewed in NASDAQ for Bloomberg with Victoria and me.
Yes, I remember.
Were you excited?
Yes, it was exciting. It was very good timing because New York was safe in this time.
And literally a couple days later, New York shut down. So we were like the last people to film at Times Square. The view there was beautiful.
The view was beautiful. Everything was beautiful.
You took some pictures with the guards outside of NASDAQ. And of course, you were inside on the second floor overlooking Times Square. Yeah, it was spectacular. I loved it, having my dad up there.
I had a good time.
So was that aired on national TV in the US?
It's coming out on Bloomberg over the next few weeks, globally, going out to 450 million households. It's a show called Discover Great Gamers, and it's a holding company of my family office that I invested in that helped us get in there to the studios and record it with Times Square in the background. Yeah, it was quite epic. Maybe we can send you a little excerpt in the future you can use and share with everybody.
Yeah, that'd be great. So if that's going out globally, it may appear in the UK as well, because I think Bloomberg may have a channel on Sky in the UK.
Yes. It'll be covering globally the 38-minute episode about Esports Discover Great Gamers, and that was instead of the interview. And it's about time we get the word out, and with Bloomberg's help, we'll hopefully get it out to 450 million households that they have, and we'll do a second episode over the next few months.
Right. Okay. So when does that air, David? The first episode?
In 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah, first week of June, probably.
Okay. I'll keep an eye out for that. How can people get involved with this league that you're setting up? Are you just looking for older gamers, or are you looking for partnerships with other tournament organisers and industry executives?
Well, we've spoken to ESL, the biggest organizer that's not a publisher. And I'm not sure the publishers are the right ones for us to talk to. I think the way to reach out to Dad and me is connect with him on Twitch or Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. The same word, DieHardBirdie. For all of the different social media, I can reach his dad and me. So if you're over 60, I'd love for you to reach out. And if you only played a few times, that's fine. Dad didn't play at all 4 years ago, and I didn't play at all just 3 months ago. So it's never too late to invigorate your mind and exercise. But I also think that if you're former military or police and you're retired, you might be pretty good at ducking and communicating. That would actually help the team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Call to action for all people watching. Get parents and grandparents to watch this episode and just tell them, hey, compromise with your kids. Do something online and offline as a little compromise. What do you think, Dad?
Yes, that's very good. But the kids have to teach their parents and grandparents about display. And remember, you need patience to old people. Like old people has patience to you in the childhood's time.
Yeah, I'm a culprit in here because sometimes I don't have the patience. But Dad always had patience with me as I was a kid, right? But he's right. I would never have been playing this game if he didn't show me, use these keys. Here's where you practice. Yeah. This is how you move. This is where you try to avoid. This is where you try to accomplish. And the biggest challenge is I didn't know how to set up the computer. So the audience is playing, and it's their responsibility to set up the computer for their parents and grandparents and teach them the easy steps with patience. If they don't have patience after all of that work, that's probably why somebody doesn't want to play again. They want to feel welcome, right? They want to feel relaxed.
Relaxed, welcome.
Yeah, and I'm a culprit. I don't have the patience sometimes.
Then everybody has a good time.
Yeah, you're completely right. And I'll hold my hands up. I'm guilty of that. I think in this day and age, it's in this digital world, everything needs to be done yesterday. and everything's on demand. So people probably don't have as much patience as they had 20 or 30 years ago. So you're teaching me lessons here to be more patient with my children as well, and my parents. You know, I think that's a good lesson to learn. We've got a question from Elliot, one of my colleagues at British Esports, who helped me set up part of this stream today. So thanks to Elliot. He said, "What's the most exciting thing for you when playing on a competitive stage? Is it the arena or the crowd or the feeling of winning?"
What do you enjoy when you were in Paris?
Yes, in Paris.
A couple years ago.
A couple years ago, there was a competition. They picked some young people from the audience and will play with them. The team from the audience was between 10 and 20 years old.
Yeah.
And we played with them, and we won. It was a very big surprise for us. And it was a very good time for us too.
Yeah, no, Dad shared that with me, and I've seen pictures and videos. He's just shining, when they want to take pictures with him, and the energy at the tournaments, and the audience, and the people, and the focus, all of that combined. In this case, like Dad said, they picked 5 random people in the audience to play Silver Snipers, and they had a great time playing. So, you let on it. It's right. When you have that energy of people around you, it gets exciting. There's an excitement around it that can't be conveyed online. And, unfortunately, we're hurting right now with the coronavirus affecting all the gaming and all the tournaments.
Yeah.
A lot of teams had a lot of revenue from that. So that revenue is gone for the near future. So things are being, restructuring that we see from teams that we're talking to is interested in bringing that aboard his team. But, we're all, doing this online like we're doing an interview right now. And thanks to technology, we can do these interviews that weren't possible 10 years ago. The tech wasn't ready yet. It couldn't handle the changeable background I just did. You want to be at a beach with palm trees.
Just now.
Yeah.
So we finally got that going. And that's thanks to you, Dominic. You told us that, dude.
Yeah, no problem. I'm very, very basic with tech stuff. I mean, I need to get a green screen as well. I've had people taking the mick out of my background, which is like I'm in an outdoor office. I've got like a wooden wall, and people have described it as a sauna. So I need to get that fixed. I need to get a green screen at some point and get that sorted out. So did you beat that team then, Abbe? The 20-something-year-olds? Did you beat them?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We beat them.
That's brilliant. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so a few more questions I've got then. Why do you think more senior citizens should play games in esports? Because, like I say, for a lot of people your age, these games like CounterStrike, they came along, later on in your life. So it's, I think it's scientifically proven it's harder to pick up new things the older you get. But why do you think that's important for people to do that?
We have to face this is very good for your health. It's keep sickness away, like dementia and other sickness away. If you're playing, you haven't time to be sick.
Yeah,
that's a good point. I've had times where I've been off sick from work. I remember my first job out of university, I had a real horrible stomach bug for almost 2 weeks. But my days went by quite quickly because I was playing games. I was trying to focus, where I could anyway. Yeah, where I was feeling a little bit better, I'd play a game now and then. And you're completely spot on. It's kind of like brain training, isn't it? A game like Counter-Strike where you've got to think fast on your feet, quick reactions. You're always focused. And I think that's been proven that it's good for your brain. It's good mental exercise.
On that note, Dominic, we got medical companies and healthcare companies coming to us with products, medical equipment, ointments, all kinds of IP, intellectual property that they want to develop, and they come to Dad to see if there's improvement in his gaming and his reactions. So I call that the quickest fingers in the West, and I think any village or city somebody's in and they start playing age over 60 or 50 can call themselves the quickest fingers in your city. You just have to have your kids show you how to do it, because Dad showed me how to do it, but I would have gotten frustrated. I would have gotten upset and lost my patience. So I think it comes back to what Dad says. It keeps the family more social and keeping you more interacted, especially if you're bedridden, especially if you're a veteran, or especially if you're handicapped. What better way of interacting with other people? But, Dad and Dominic, on the flip side, we just watched a documentary the other day about esports, and you can get ill if you play too much.
Yeah.
You got to be balanced. That's why I tell, everybody, compromise. Go out and play soccer, and for the same time you play soccer, you play with your kids online and find a balance. I mean, I have my own daughters, and I have to make sure that they don't get excessive exposure online. Yet again, it could become you could become a world champion, or you can become an influencer, and gaming generates revenue for your family. So I still think we haven't found or haven't seen the delineation of what's too much from the publisher versus what the industry is adjusting on how it should be. So I think we need to keep that in mind.
Everything in moderation, right?
Yes, indeed.
We've got another question from Sasquark here. Abbe, how much resistance did you have to fight against with your age? Did you find the scene or the people in esports to be against an older generation, or was it very welcoming to you?
They're mostly very, very welcoming.
Oh, that's
They thought it was cool, right?
It was cool. It's very. This is fun, and you have some pleasure, and you enjoy this play.
And you were bridging between generations.
Bridging to next generation, because it's about this. Our generation invented. Our generation invented internet.
Yeah.
And next generation invented computers. And next generation, I think, or next generation invented stuff around computers and e-play. Esports.
Yeah.
So just now, I think all generations, the next generation, have to use this
and bridge them together.
And
that's what we're doing in our family, right?
Yeah.
Between Vicky, me, and you, 3 generations gaming.
We saw like an example of 3 generations to use this stuff.
And we'll be forced soon as my youngest daughter is old enough to handle the computer, hopefully within the next year.
The next generation.
Yeah. But I mean, when I grew up, I had cyberphobia. I was worried about computers. At that time, you didn't, you had to know what Control F4 meant, which at that time I didn't know. And, we were fearful of it. And I think that holds for everything we do. I've been involved in, crowdfunding and crypto and regulations with the SEC and changing the laws. I've been had the luxury of being involved in many different things. And I learned quickly that if I go home and sit in front of a computer and I don't know how to do Control F4, whatever it is, I would feel like a stupid, full idiot. And that's probably the biggest hindrance for this industry. That's why, if it wasn't for Dad showing me how to set up the computer, I wouldn't play any of these games in the future games either. And I think that's a necessity because that fear, the back of my head, had prevented me in the past from doing a lot of exciting things. And I'm not going to ask someone for help. So, Dad came to me and pushed me. Thank you.
Yeah, do you know what? I see that in my family as well. I've got an uncle who is, I believe, like mid-70s, and he just doesn't want to switch over to digital music. He wants to stay on the CD and things like that, but he has a car that doesn't have a CD player. So it doesn't make sense. But because he sort of doesn't want to get over that hurdle of learning how to use Apple Music or whatever else, Spotify, he's sort of stuck in the past, and he spends more money on CDs. And I've offered to help him, but sometimes people don't want to try, and that's the challenge, isn't it? It's trying to convince those people to embrace video games or esports.
We have to make it turnkey, which means come and sit here, everything's set, and here's what you press.
Exactly. Yeah, you're spot on. You're spot on with that. Elliot, my colleagues, also asked, would you ever play any games other than CS:GO? Or is that going to be the one that you stick with, and why?
It was long, many years ago. I was playing ping pong.
Yeah, Atari's ping pong. 40, 50 years ago when it came out.
Or more.
But in the future...
In the future, I like to try another games. Yeah, I'm curious. I like to do this.
Well, actually, you did. You played Fortress 2.
A few days ago, just about half hour.
With my twin daughter, who's on the East Coast.
Yeah.
She was over there.
Yes, I remember.
And... I think Rocket League would be something good for our twin daughter to teach us both how to play. So that's our game plan, to have our twin teach her another game, so we get to learn from her.
Yeah, 100%. And just lastly, how difficult was it for you to set up the Die Hard Sniper franchise? Do you have a loose timescale for that? I know you said it's in the early stages, but can we expect anything to launch this year or next year?
Yes. No, we're hoping to have an announcement about that end of the fall, hopefully when tournaments come back. We're interviewing individuals now around the globe, and we can open up a team in any given city around the globe, as long as the 4 team members joining my dad's team are in the same city. That way Dad can fly in with me, let's say 3-4 days a month, and play with them together, and they can practice independently. Yeah. So we're not restricted to where in the world it is. Do we have preferences? Yeah, well, it would be more convenient to be in Stockholm, since that's living in Stockholm, or London, who's the hub between US and Stockholm, or in the US. But it could be rather anywhere, depending on who we bring on board as sponsors, where the team members are found, and where the stars align. What do you think, Dad?
Yes, I think so. Just now we have to fight with the virus outside.
Yeah, the virus knows today.
Yes,
but we'll gladly play with anybody, interview them when they reach out to us on Instagram or anywhere, and just say, yeah, absolutely, we'll have a chat with you. And as I said before, if they don't have much experience, I don't think that's as important as if they're trying or have a military experience. But it's not mutually exclusive that they have military experience. But I just thought that'd be a very interesting fit to bring that audience together. They understand how to communicate. They've been trained how to communicate in real situations. I think they would do really well.
Yeah. Have you been approached by any esports teams or organisations for, looking to hire you or sign you?
Yes, we've been talking to quite a few of them. Unfortunately, all of them are hurting because of the virus right now, because all the tournament revenue has disappeared.
Tell about San Diego.
Well, yes, and we were supposed to. So we ended up going to New York. I have my office there. I flew my dad in from Stockholm. We headed over to the NASDAQ studios on Times Square. This is the same place as CNBC airs. And we're, sitting there where the background is Times Square, magnificent. And after that trip, we were supposed to go to San Diego to film with Marines outdoors running around playing paintball with my dad. And I was instructing them, okay, we're going to fly to San Diego with the Marines and record at their training camp. My dad running around with gear, shooting paintball, just for fun, for the production team. And I was dictating, well, you know, Dad's 78. He really can't jump up and down on the ground and up again. So I think rule number 101 is nobody's allowed to shoot him. And unfortunately, the virus came about, and we had to postpone that trip. But that was excited about that.
I was excited about it.
Creating really cool content around that.
Absolutely.
I was sad.
Yeah, this is our first time we're doing an interview on the beach with a beach background. So it's pretty epic, Dominic. Thanks for setting that up.
It's thank you. No, it's you're welcome. I'm happy to have helped with that. It's a very basic thing in Zoom. Guys, is there anything else you'd like to add? Because I feel like we've covered off quite a lot in this interview, and we've covered some really important topics. I'm definitely going to be sharing this with my family, you know. But is there anything we might have missed? Anything else you'd like to say?
Call to action. Just summarize what I said before. You know, show this video to your parents and grandparents, and challenge them to play with you, and set up the computer for them and show them how to play.
And tell it, if I have 78, I can't, you can too.
Yeah, 100%.
Keep your mind young, and get engaged, and you'll be surprised.
Old body, that's okay, but a new young spirits, you have to wake up.
Absolutely, yeah, I completely agree. And my mum's your age, and I'd like to see her. I mean, she's on the crosswords and things like that, but she doesn't really play games. So that's going to be my challenge, I think, this year during the lockdown, the coronavirus, to get her playing games. And I can't see her playing League of Legends. That's the only thing, because it's
yeah. But I can see her playing Rocket League with your 3-year-old.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, definitely. I think Rocket League is cross-platform these days. Correct me if I'm wrong. Elliot is probably in the chat. Elliot also Squawk, but I think it's cross-platform because I have a PlayStation and my dad has an Xbox. So hopefully we can still play. And if we do, I'll be sure to record it and send it to you guys and see what you think.
All right. Thank you.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks very much, guys. Thanks to everyone in the chat for watching. You can follow DieHardBirdie on his socials. There's a few that have gone in the chat there that Elliot's kindly linked to his Twitch and Instagram, and his Twitter handle is underneath his name on the stream as well, at DieHardBirdie. So thanks very much for this, guys. I really appreciate your time. Best of luck with the Die Hard Snipers and the Grey Gamers and all of that you're planning. Please keep us posted, because if you have a London franchise, that's absolutely the kind of news we'd share here at the British Esports Association. So thanks again for your time, and
thank you.
It's been brilliant. Thank you, guys. Bye
bye.
Cool.
Okay.
Hello, guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. It was a slightly different interview for us this week, and but I think it's the kind of thing that we can definitely get clips of and share and put around socials, because there's a nice message there, and I'd like to see more like esports publications and brands covering this kind of thing, and almost stamp out ageism as well, because I've noticed, I get called old, I get called a boomer. I'm technically not a boomer, that'd be my dad's generation, but I know what people would be saying. Younger people would be saying, oh, that's what boomers will say and everything like that. But I do think there's a bit of ageism in esports, and I'd like to see that stamped out personally. I'd like to see, it is very inclusive, and it's not just for young people, it's for everyone. So, thanks for watching. Ring just said, I originally thought he might have been the winner of the first ever esports tournament for Asteroid in the 1970s. I think there was a Space Invaders one around that time as well. So to hear him winning CounterStrike at 78 is inspiring. It's massively inspiring. Yeah, absolutely. Just a quick bit from me, guys. There's another fun Friday stream this Friday, 4 p.m. Elliot Bond is your host, my great colleague who'll be taking you through some fun games, marbles and quiz and everything, so please do check that out. Let us know what you think about our streams. We've been doing 3 a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We've changed the background slightly. We've got some really nice layouts, and we had a designer help us for our championships final, and Morgan, my colleague, has designed some of these bits and pieces. So we've been experimenting, changing things. Please let us know what you think, and we value your feedback. So Squawk said, any more surprise announcements? Elliot, maybe. So thanks again, guys. Let us know what you think about these stream layouts, and I will catch you next time. Bye-bye. Sacco signing out. Hang on, that's the old end screen. Look, this is a new one we got now.